Do not sell your house. Maybe ever, but definitely not before considering these 5 vital reasons that I'm going to lay out for you in this video. While you may have considered the first and even the second reason not to sell your house, reason number 5, well, it's actually brand new and it could ultimately net you upwards of $1 million more than if you were to just sell on the open market. Ultimately, you only have one chance to sell your property. So don't miss out on these value maximizing strategies that can put way more money in your pocket. My name is Dan and I'm a top 1% agent here in Vancouver, where me and my team have sold over 500 homes. And there have been dozens of instances where I have told clients to hold off selling their home or potentially never sell at all, and instead use one of these strategies to maximize the sale when the time is right. Understandably, when should I sell my home is one of the most asked questions I get. And right after that, how do I sell for the highest amount possible? Well, I'm going to answer both of those for you today. Reason number 1 is we are basically in the slowest market on record. I'm recording this in June of 2025, and as the recent May stats just came out, there was literally the lowest amount of sales volumes for the month of May in the 21 years of recorded history that we have. We also happen to have the highest amount of inventory on the market that we've seen in over 11 years. This means buyers have a lot of options. This supply gut, well, it makes it harder to stand out and often requires more aggressive pricing, marketing costs, staging, and concessions, reducing your net sale price. We're also facing a marketplace where the average prices are dropping, certainly not one that's advantageous to you selling for the highest price possible. In a market that clearly favors buyers, if you're a seller, you're simply not in the best position to maximize the sale of your home. So what do you do? Well, the most simplest answer is if you can just wait out this downward cycle, it is certainly advised to do so. If there's one thing I know about real estate, it's that it always does cycle. The unknown part is how long each cycle lasts, right? This downturn, well, it's basically been going on for upwards of 4 years. And yes, it will turn around. And no, I don't know exactly when, but I do know at some point that market will shift. And we know that Vancouver, well, when it goes into a harsh seller's market, it's pretty extreme, right? Multiple offers, subject free offers, hundreds of thousands over asks. Like it becomes very common here. And so the chance of it coming back is pretty high. So just, again, if you can, hold on to your asset, continue to pay down the principal in your mortgage if you have one, and wait out for this uptick. A little caveat here, because it is very important that I point out that markets right now are hyper local. And what this means is while the average price in Greater Vancouver is definitely trending down, there are certain pockets that are actually experiencing price increases, and some areas are even at all-time highs. Check out this chart for the Mount Pleasant West area for detached homes. As you can see, they are currently experiencing all-time high prices. What if an owner there was thinking about selling and they thought they would just, well, wait out the current market until their home was worth more, not realizing that it was actually worth more today than any time in history? Having current and very hyper local market data is absolutely vital to having the information you need, whether to sell or not. So in the case that waiting out the next cycle doesn't quite sound like the right plan for you and you're curious what your home might be worth today, feel free to reach out. I'd happily have a look at your property and let you know what it's worth in today's landscape. Some people are very surprised to find out that they're actually sitting in a pocket like Mount Pleasant West and currently valued at all-time highs. And if you're curious as to how we consistently sell for higher prices in a faster amount of time than market average, feel free to download our free exclusive seller's guide. There's a link for that below as well. Leveraging your equity. This one you're likely familiar with, so it might just be a friendly reminder or provide some insights for those of you who may not have explored this option previously. Homeowners that have a lot of equity in their property can look at the option of pulling out equity and, of course, investing that money in other areas. If you can access some of the equity in your home at, let's say, 5-6% today, pull that out and invest it in something that returns higher, let's say 12%, like the S&P has done for the last decade or so. Well, guess what? You are obviously earning that spread, right? That 6 or 7% difference. Kind of enticing. Some homeowners even look at pulling out equity to buy further real estate. And in a market where most prices are coming down, well, would it make sense to pick up a property at a quote unquote deal? Some may think so. Whatever investment platform you're interested in, not selling your current home, but pulling out some of the equity and investing in other areas might be the right plan for you. If this is an option that you would like to explore, I'd love to connect you with my mortgage specialist who can help you understand how much money you could pull out and at what rate so that you can get a better understanding of what your investment options are. Just connect with me at the contact information below. Now let's move on to reason number 3 not to sell your home. And that's quite simply that selling a home is very expensive. There may be other better uses for your money than just going to sale costs. Now, if you haven't sold a home in a while, here's kind of a refresher of what sales costs look like today. Let's use the average home price in Vancouver being about $1.2 million. First off, of course, is the realtor or the brokerage fees. For your home being sold at $1.2 million, brokerage fees will come in at $40,000. And while that is a lot and sounds like a lot, in British Columbia, the brokerage fees are actually the lowest in North America. For example, if you sold that same $1.2 million house in Toronto, those brokerage fees would be 50% higher. Yeah, $60,000. So back to Vancouver here, still $40,000, but let's look at the breakdown of the other costs. If you have a mortgage on that property still, you definitely want to get a firm understanding of the cost to potentially break that mortgage. Maybe you're porting, maybe you're not, but there could just be a fee there. And it could be upwards of $5,000 or even $10,000. So getting a good understanding of the potential penalty of breaking your mortgage is important. There's going to be a couple $1,000s to the lawyers, of course, to convey the sale. And moving is upwards of $3,000 now too. And this is all taking into consideration that your house is in great shape. I mean, what if you go to sell and the buyer does an inspection and finds out that the roof needs to be redone, there's a hot water tank, maybe there's some water damage you didn't know about? I mean, those kind of issues, they can add up very quick as well. But even if your home is in great standing, when we look at all those like set costs, you're upwards of $50,000 just to sell a home. Which leads me to the question, like, what is it about your house that you don't like? Could you maybe take that same $50,000 and put it towards improvements in your current home? Is it time for that new kitchen you've always wanted? Is it time to upgrade your bathrooms, bedrooms? Does the home just need a new paint job, a bunch of handyman repairs? What about some new furniture or even a hot tub? Giving your home a significant refresh may help you fall in love with it all over again. And guess what? That $50,000 or so that you invest into your property, well, it actually adds value to it. So when you do go to sell it eventually, well, guess what? Those upgrades that you've done, you're now essentially realizing a bit of a profit from those as well. So if not selling and refreshing and renewing your home sounds like a good plan for you, I'd be more than happy to connect you with some of my home team. I work with the best painters, contractors, designers, millwork experts, landscapers, hot tub installers, whatever you need to improve your living space. I've got the perfect contact for it. So please reach out and I'll be happy to connect you with them. Moving on to number 4 now. This is a reason you may not have considered as to why you should continue to hold on to your home for a few more years. And that is waiting for it to be rezoned or potentially rezoned. Ultimately, the longer that you hold on to a property in BC, the higher the likelihood of it being densified or rezoned for more density, which typically equates to a higher evaluation. Just last year, we saw Bill 47 come into effect, whereby single-family home lots located within 800 meters of a rapid transit station like SkyTrain or 400 meters from a bus exchange, well, those were automatically rezoned for mid to high-rise condo towers. Understandably, some of those lots, well, they saw their values literally double overnight. In July of 2024, we also saw the provincial government enact what is known as Bill 44, that automatically rezoned all single-family home lots to allow for multiple units to be built on it. You may have heard this referred to as the small-scale multi-unit housing initiative or possibly even multiplex. Whatever you call it, you can now build multiple units on a single lot that historically you could only build a single-family home on. And it's safe to say, this is likely the single largest rezoning initiative we will ever see in our lifetimes, at least at a provincial level. Some, I would say, key lots that are, let's say, larger, flat, undesirable areas, corner lots, well, they saw an immediate land lift as well and would have sold for values that they would have never been able to achieve even just the year before. The main reason for this, of course, is instead of just end users having interest in your property if it's for sale, is now you've got a ton of builders and developers who would have their eyes on it as well. So the bigger the buyer pool, the higher the potential for a higher sale cost when the utility has increased to that degree as well. So if you are considering selling, it is very important to know what your property is worth to a builder. And maybe not even today, but in the future, right? What is the future development potential? Zoning is changing all the time. Does your realtor understand the official community plan and what the vision for your area is? Because these documents already exist and you can look into them and say, okay, well, in 5 to 10 years, the city of X is planning for this to happen in my exact area. And does that increase my value or decrease my value? Because this information can significantly influence your decision to sell sooner or later. So again, if you are considering a sale either now or in the future, or just want to know maybe what the plan is for your area, because guess what? Some people move into a neighborhood just to find out that, a year or two down the road, all of a sudden high rises are going up just a block away and they didn't expect that kind of density. Good or bad, it's just about being informed. So work with the realtor who not only understands the future viability of lots, official community plans, development potential, but actively works with developers and builders and has multiple projects under construction today, like me and my team, because we know that not only how to assess land today, but potentially to get builders in early and even give you a great offer. I have a list of developers that are always looking to pick up good lots. And ultimately, selling to them may end up netting you 15 to 20% higher today than if you were to just sell in the open market to an end user. That alone can result in hundreds of thousands of dollars more in your pocket. So that one chance to sell, make sure you're working with somebody who knows how to value your land properly and knows how to market it to the right end user or developer. And here we are at reason number 5. And this is, of course, the most important one and one that you most likely have not considered. And that is a co-development option with a developer, and is potentially the biggest reason why you should not just flat out sell your property today without considering this. So leaning on Bill 44, which I just outlined in the previous example, homeowners have the option to have multiple units built on their land, which of course with a higher utility comes a higher valuation. Understandably, most homeowners are not builders and they're not developers, but Bill 44 has created a whole unique and new business model whereby a homeowner can partner with a developer, co-develop, and profit from the sale of these units. Understandably, more square footage to sell, newer product, higher price, you net more. We also sometimes see homeowners tear down their single family, build, let's say, 4 or 5 units with a developer, and they'll actually keep one for themselves. So what they do is they profit from the sale of the other 3 or 4, and now they're living free and clear. They've got cash in the bank and they've got a home in the exact same spot that they've loved for possibly decades. There's all sorts of configurations here, and I don't want to get too in the weeds, but I really want to give you a top level vision of what is possible for your lot today. Another option homeowners have with this type of configuration is, let's say they build 4, well, they keep one for themselves, they keep a second one for their kids, right? So here you go. Now you've sold off the other 2. You own 2 properties free and clear, and you've got your offspring now in the housing market or living closer to you because you are aging into your home. All sorts of options here that just simply didn't exist even 9 months ago. Now, one of the most enticing elements of this option of co-developing is that you as the homeowner do not have to come up with any extra funds to move forward with this. Ultimately, what happens is the developer will buy the lot from you. Let's just use a round number of $2 million. And if you own it free and clear, you put $1 million into the bank, that's yours. You put another $1 million into the project, and now you, again, are a co-developer. And based on how much money you put into the development equals your percentage of course, the profit share when everything is ultimately sold. You don't have to come up with money. You don't have to track down trades. You don't have to worry about a construction manager. You don't have to do any fundraising. We ultimately handle all of this for you. And I want to share a quick example of the type of money that you can expect. We just had a homeowner who lives on West 16th in an older home that he owns outright. On the open market, his old 1-bathroom, 3-bedroom house on a 6,200 square foot lot would fetch around $2.6 million. Pretty nice. It's a big number. But if we build and sell 4 lots on that unit, he would gross $4 million. That's an $800,000 difference. I mean, this is life-changing money that we're talking about. The pro formas that we have run on some of these larger West Side lots have seen homeowners realize upwards of $1 million more than if they had just sold on the open market. The areas that we're seeing homeowners benefit the most from this are currently Vancouver and Burnaby, but more municipalities are adopting the legislation. For example, Coquitlam just adopted last week, and I already have a developer who picked up a lot there, old single family house, and we're building 4 homes on it. And the numbers for him are pretty enticing as well. Margins are thin, but they do work when you have the right team and the right business model around you. If you'd like to learn more about how the co-development process works and the type of money that you might get for your lot, again, please just reach out. I love sharing this information. And if you're sitting on a larger lot, especially on the West Side, this opportunity might be absolutely perfect for you to net significant and life-changing money. So that's it. Those are the 5 reasons why you should absolutely not sell today, and consider looking a little bit deeper on how to maximize the sale price of your home, whether it's in 6 months or 6 years. You have that one chance to sell your home, so be very diligent in who you work with and your strategy to optimize and maximize that sale price. Thanks so much for watching. Again, my name is Dan, and I am here to help you maximize the sale price of your biggest asset. Reach out anytime. I'm here to help. Thanks.